evening. Good to have you with us in the 9 p.m. edition of the Urban Debate. There's a growing concern over the beneficiaries missing their second dose of the COVID vaccine in the country. Nearly 12 crore eligible beneficiaries across the country have not taken their second vaccine dose yet. Crores of people have missed the vaccination window by weeks. And that's why it's becoming a growing concern. For example, there are about 3.92, almost 4 crore citizens in our country today who have not taken their vaccine and are overdue by 6 weeks. So you have a gap between the first dose and the second dose, basis which vaccine you've taken. That window can be different. Now, once that window opens, post which you can take your vaccine, 4 crore people haven't turned up and it's been 6 weeks since. There are about 1.57 crore people who are overdue for their second shot by 4 to 6 weeks. And then there are almost 3.4 crore people who are overdue for their second shot by 2 weeks. Half of this 12 crore number comes from the big 5 states. And that's why it's a very big concern for these states. States like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu are the ones who are looking at a poor turnout for second doses. Now, this could mean several things, viewers. It could mean that the government went extremely aggressive in the first round, got people to take their first shot, but isn't going as aggressive to get them back for their second shot. It could mean that the people are not very well aware of the fact that you need, for good immunity against this virus, you need to take 2 shots. So in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, possibly the governments will need to come out with specific programs to reach out to these people and get them to take their second shot. Tonight, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what can be done and how big a concern is this number, 12 crore people. 92 lakh people just in the state of Maharashtra, Dr. Parekh, haven't turned up for their second dose. Maharashtra, that was on top of the table pretty much throughout in terms of number of cases, cannot afford to let its guard down like this.
Of course not, Tanvi. And continuing on the same trend as Dr. Dasgupta, let's talk about the positive things first and then try and understand why we are not doing as well as we could have. First of all, historically on the positive side, no country in the world has had as tremendous a record in vaccination as India has with the smallpox and the polio campaigns. In fact, these campaigns are looked upon by the rest of the world as models for successful vaccination. And second, of course, the figure that everybody talks about, the 1 billion doses that have been given across the country, that's reason for optimism. And the reason for concern, as you have articulated, is the fact that a lot of people are not coming up for their second dose, almost as much as 15% across the country who are not coming up. Other than the reasons that you mentioned, I think one reason we need to factor in is the long gap in one of the vaccines, Covishield, between the first and the second dose. This is the longest gap in the world. In the United States, for example, where they're using the mRNA vaccines, the gap has been just a month. And, Covishield accounts for more than 80% of the vaccination in the country. And when you have a gap, which is 12 to 16 weeks, the longest in the world, that sometimes does not stimulate people to come for their second dose. And of course, we've had the Diwali holidays and other things, and people tend to become lax. So there have been numerous factors why the second dose is not as rigorous as the first. But again, on a note of optimism, just a few days ago, for the first time, more second doses were administered in a day than first doses. So we're moving in the right direction. But as you said, we really need to step on the gas. We've done this in the past. And if we harness our experience of the past, we can still catch up and motivate people to take the second dose. I mean, when you look at just the Delta variant, forget the new variant, data is indicated that there is just 30% efficacy with the first dose. The second dose takes it up to 79%. And then the booster dose takes it up in the vicinity of 93% efficacy. I think we need to emphasize this to the people so that they don't have a false sense of security. They only have 30% protection with one dose, and then they are dangerous to themselves, to their families, and to people around them. So we really need to motivate people to take their second doses.
Dr. Parekh, do come in on the first part here, since you raised the issue of shortening the window. Because
Absolutely.
many experts believe we are already at the far end of that window. It's already the most stretched for us. And now we run the risk of having people who don't turn up for 6 further weeks. And thereby, you know, lose the time where they should be getting their second shot.
Tanvi, I completely endorse the idea of reducing the gap. As Dr. Dasgupta has pointed out, just that is not going to work. We need a three-pronged approach. But absolutely, I mean, this is the longest gap anywhere in the world. We had other reasons, compelling reasons for having that gap. Those reasons don't exist anymore, and we need to go by the science of it and certainly reduce this gap. That will help. In itself, it won't resolve the problem. There are two other things I suggest. The second is to get NGOs involved. This has worked brilliantly in the past. You know, when the WHO conducted the Polio Plus campaign, it got NGOs involved. It got the Rotary Club involved. And getting NGOs involved will certainly help. I can give you one example of where we got an unbelievable 102% penetration in the Polio Plus campaign. I had to relook these figures myself because I couldn't believe them. And, you know, this was an area that I had taken charge of. It was the E ward in Mumbai. It covered the commercial sex workers. And we were very concerned about ensuring that all of their little babies got Polio Plus. We desensitized young students. These are college students, St. Xavier's College, HR College. We told them you're going to deal with people who society doesn't normally respect, but you'll have to treat them with enormous respect. Are you ready to have a cup of tea with them? Are you going to talk to them and do everything you can? And then when I looked at the numbers, they were 102%. It was just unbelievable. And then I realized what had happened. You see, the Bombay ST depot in Bombay Central fell within our ward. And these young people had enthusiastically, on their own incentive, gone to the bus depot and started administering polio drops to children who were either getting off the ST buses or getting on them. They had gone beyond the call of duty. We exceeded that. So we need to get NGOs. We need to get young people. I mean, a lot of ossified policies, a lot of ossified people pushing this campaign. Let's get young people with enthusiasm involved in it. But finally, Tanvi, I do believe that we do need some kind of a mandate, not a coercive mandate. For instance, yesterday was the last day that a government employee in the United States could show up to work if he didn't have both doses. And in fact, I was in New York 10 days ago, and I met a senior government employee who happened to be an anti-vaxxer. So we had a discussion, and he told me in a very resigned way that it's a choice between my job and taking this stupid vaccine. So I've had to take it. So I think some kind of a mandate, not coercive, not affecting basic rights, needs to be put in. Let us not forget, Tanvi, and this is completely lost in the debate and the polemic, that people who are not vaccinated are dangerous. They're like bioterrorists who are, instead of shooting bullets, shooting viruses at all of us. And there is a considerable overlap between people who are vaccine deniers, who do not wear masks, and do not maintain social distance. It's a large intersection in these three circles. And these people, in my opinion, are like bioterrorists. They're a danger to themselves and to society. We do need some kind of a mandate to ensure that they get their second dose.